Okay, you will find the task sheet, which I've just given you in hard copy, also in electronic copy on Canvas. Canvas, it's called Task 1 Composition, and you'll find this by clicking which button on the left? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So when you go and click on the very top thing, this will give you the sheet that I just gave you, and I'll talk through this now. I encourage you to highlight anything that you think is important, perhaps the due date. When is this due? Monday the who's or what?
Monday the 14th.
Yeah, so it's not very far away. And I have a draft due date of the 8th of March, which is Tuesday week. So it's not very, very far away. So we need to get started. You are going to compose a melody based on what scale? Oh yes, the blues scale, and using only those notes that we talked about that are in the blues scale. In the style of blues music. I'm going to give you a template, which is on Canvas, that you can use MuseScore to do it, or you can print it out and write it by hand. I recommend MuseScore because you can hear it. You've all used MuseScore in Year 7, yes? Okay, so if it would be a good idea just to check today sometime and make sure that you have MuseScore on your new computer, or is this the same computer from last year? So just make sure that it's still on there, and email me if you have any issues. You're going to complete these 12 bars of blues by the 8th, so I can have a look at it. And I'll give you verbal feedback. I won't give you written feedback. I'll meet with every single one of you and talk about what are the things that we can do. In the end, you're going to have to hand in a printed score, so print out the MuseScore sheet that has all the notes on it. And you're going to have this task sheet signed by a parental unit or guardian. So that needs to come in on the day that this is due. What day is it due again? The 14th, yeah. I also would like you to turn in your MuseScore file. If you handwrite this, you don't have to turn in the MuseScore file, but as we get closer to turning it in, I would like the MuseScore file because then I can hear it, and then you also have practice turning things in through MuseScore. These are some of the things you have to have, and interrupt me at any time, please. You got to have a title. Make it a bluesy title. What's the piece about? What does it feel like to you? You got to have your name as composer. You've got to add some rhythmic variety, and I have made you a video that explains all of these things in detail with an example. So you've got to have a mix of crotchets, quavers, and rests, and those are the types of things we had on our theory Quizlet the other day. You've got to use which notes only? I went crazy. The blues scale notes. So please make sure that you go back and refer to those blues scale notes over and over because these are the only ones you need. These are all crotchets, but please change up the rhythms to make it interesting. And some blues compositional techniques, which I have explained in the video as well. Basically, repetition is the best thing you can do. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, something else, and then bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, something that's really, really similar that ties the piece together. And that, again, is in the example video. So that's what you have to do. Any questions on what you have to do so far before I show you the example? What you can do is you can extend yourself and do a few other things. If you have experience adding dynamics and things like that, you can add that stuff. So you might like to consider articulation dynamics. I made you a movie to show you about that. You can change the bass line. I've actually given you the bass line in the piano part as a gift for free. And you just have to write the melody. I'll show you. You can add a vocal line, another bluesy instrument. You can read through this and see what you'd like to do. That should actually be out of there because you have to submit a recording, but you could submit a recording through GarageBand or Logic Pro. Are we into any of that stuff yet? In the future, we will look at that. But this is all optional. Okay? And to achieve an A on this, you've got to proficiently apply skills and knowledge gained through analysis in compositions. You've got to be able to show that you've learned something by using the blue notes, using repetition, by having a variety of rhythms. Those are the kind of things. You've got a convincing communication of meaning as composers. What's a good title for a blues piece? Off the top of your head. What kind of blues? Use a word and then the blues. The something blues. What's the weather we don't like? The rainy day blues. What's a situation that we don't like? The homework blues. There we go. See? So something that says blues, and then your music actually sounds like the blues. And my examples will show you a bit more what you can do. So you're actually you gotta have a good title, and then it's got to work with that title. That's part of it. Manipulation of the elements of music and stylistic conventions. Does it sound bluesy? If it is ba 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 crotchet crotchet, it doesn't feel like the blues style. If it's not using blues notes, it doesn't feel like the blues style. If it doesn't have any rest at all, it doesn't feel like the blues scale. See how I put a rest in there? And that made it interesting all of a sudden just by putting a rest in there. So that's the basics of the task. I'll go back to modules. I am still recording here, so please ask questions if I'm missing anything. Composition, here we go. How to create your blues composition. You don't have your laptops open, but when next you do, you're going to go, and I'm just going to follow these in order. You're going to go to Templates and download it. And this is going to be your homework. So if you've got your diary handy, this is your homework. Because if you can't do this, if there's some reason why you're not able to access this, I really need to know about it. So you just go and click on probably the top one, the bottom one if you're feeling more jazzy. Either one will work. Download one of these templates and complete your blues on the template or template. I click on it. It appears. I click on my MuseScore and there it is. This is already here for you. You don't need to change any of that kind of stuff. This is where you need to put in notes. Where are the notes going to come from? Thank you! The blues scale. So your blues scale notes, they go in here. That's it. Your notes go in here and they sound bluesy. If you want to change the title, go in there and double click and change the title and make it ooh, I'll make it Misty Mountain Blues. I'm just feeling it. I don't know. Did I spell mountain right? Well, I'm sure you can. Give it a title. Do the same thing for your name. And this is where you want to enter it. If you've forgotten how to enter notes for the blues, do not worry. On the next page of the module, I re-explained to you how we got from the C major to the blues scale, and there's the blues scale in my video. It's all in there. On the next page of your module, I've got adding notes to a blues composition. So if you've forgotten how to do it, especially if you don't know how to make a sharp or a flat, that's in this video here. You see how important it is to have the headphones? Yeah, you need to bring them every time. On the next page after that, this is where I give you an example. This is also, if you look at the top of this page called example, this is where you can tick off your list and say, am I actually getting there? Did I include some rhythmic variety like the video shows? Did I use the tonic note or the home tone, especially at the end of the phrases like the video shows? Did I add a title? Did I use repetition? Did I use notes from the blues scale? And there's also where you add your dynamics and articulation. This is a whole lot to take in all at once, but I hope this little video will help to remind you what it is you have to do. And I've even left some general feedback on there that I used from the last class and wrote it up on the board. What's the first thing say? Rests. What do you do? Have some. Yeah, it says have some. I typed this all out in the previous page, but I left that on there because I thought there's some pictures of crotchets and quavers and things. So that's the basic idea. That's the gist. Any questions? Look at that for timing. All right.